Years back at the jewelry store, there was a lady that came in with her granddaughter. She walks up to the counter and she said, "I have a ring that I would like for you guys to take the stones out of and take the gold and make my granddaughter her wedding ring." Well, as they were looking at this ring, she pulled it out, and it was a big, gaudy ring. Okay, I mean, diamonds all over it, big stone in the middle. I mean, basically barely fit in between her knuckles, right? And I remember the granddaughter looking at her, and she said, "Grandma, why did y'all like those big, ugly rings back then when you got married? Like, why would you have a wedding ring that big and that gaudy?" And I'll never forget what the lady said to her, what the grandmother said to her. She said, "Because back then, marriage was a big deal." That sat with me. Today, we're going to continue our series entitled Warrior Marriage. Last week, we started this series by discussing God's true purpose for marriage. Okay, the purpose is get man and woman together, have children, raise them in the ways of God. Then they have children, they do the same thing. They have children, they do the same thing. And again, God's kingdom is built in a major way. We also talked about how the number one way that God builds his kingdom is through marriage, right? Again, raising children, so forth, it just carries on. It's a legacy that carries on. We also discussed last week the biblical instructions of who God wants us to marry. If you're a man, you marry a woman. If you're a woman, you marry a man. And then we make sure that we also marry a believer with a strong foundation. Okay? We don't marry potential, right? I said that last week. We marry patterns, somebody that has that strong foundation of Jesus Christ.